Hello, my people of YouTube. This is NBA Talk, aka Alex Arbogast. This is my first ever YouTube video. I hope everyone's excited to um, see my first YouTube video. I'm very excited to make one as well. So, what you guys are going to watch this episode is the seventh episode of Ballers Paradise podcast. I do a podcast talking strictly the NBA. Occasionally some football every now and then some off-topic topics. Always do an off-topic topic that has no relation to sports, or it could be related to sports but not in like the NBA kind of way. Uh, so normally I would have another guy with me. His name is Matt Gilbert. He's not here right now, doing schooling and other things to further his education and things of that nature. So Friday and Saturday's episodes, you will see Mac. And if you listen to the podcast, you'll definitely hear him as well on the microphone. But for the biggest part, guys, thank you for watching my first YouTube video. You're gonna get the whole podcast unedited. I try not to swear, a lot at least. I don't try and do that. I like to keep it professional and as often as possible. Um, but let's have a great time. As always, with the podcast, you guys get a first look at this. So yeah, let's have a great time, guys. And the content I'm going to be talking about today: most dominant player in the NBA today. Why the win over OKC for the Lakers was not really big in the grand scheme of things. The player who I would start a franchise with, and then political correctness and sensitivity are going to be combined because those are going to be my off-topic topics for today. So guys, let's get rolling as I get this started. And hello, everyone. Welcome to the seventh episode of Ballers Paradise podcast. I'm your host, Alex Arbogast. Hopefully, everyone is enjoying their day today. Great show for everyone today. We've got some great content. Mac is not here with me again, as he is out, furthering his education, doing the stuff that he loves to do. Mac will be back Saturday and Saturday, as we plan to do 2 episodes. Try and get this rolling after what's been going on in my life personally. If you guys, are just coming new to the podcast, I had just recently lost my father to liver bile duct cancer, very, very rare form of cancer. He fought great for 2 great years, a very, very great man, and I am very happy that I was honored to be a son of his, and he was a great man to learn from and just a fantastic father to have. So on that note, guys, you guys can make donations, www.anchor.fm. If you go to Ballers Paradise podcast page, there should be a support link. I think you click that and it's going to give you an option for, 99 cents a month, $4.99 a month, or $9.99 a month. What we would use with the donations people would give us would be to help the podcast even more, which would be to get better equipment, maybe even get cameras so we could do a better YouTube video. I'm doing the first ever YouTube video of the podcast as we speak right now. So hopefully, if you guys want to see the live recorded edition, you see a little bit of a face reveal of my face, you are more than welcome to head over to the YouTube channel NBA Talk. We will probably not make a YouTube channel for Ballers Paradise just because there'll be a playlist down below, or a playlist for the channel. We might make a YouTube page for it. Just depends on what Mac and I decide to do. But right now we're just gonna keep it on the NBA Talk page for future reference, or we might do both. Keep it on here and then make a page as well. You never know. It depends on how great people react to this. So we're going to get started with our first topic today, ladies and gentlemen, and that is who I believe is the most dominant player in the NBA. You could make a case for anybody when it comes to Giannis Antetokounmpo or LeBron James, Anthony Davis. Some people even say Steph Curry, Kawhi Leonard, James Harden, just to name a few names. But if you're asking me, and solely me, I will say that the most dominant player in the NBA today will be Giannis Antetokounmpo. I think Giannis Antetokounmpo is by far the most dominant player in the NBA. I don't want to say he's kind of Shaq-like, but just in the way that he moves on the court as a guard and dominates in the way that Shaq did on the court is just unprecedented. You know, he's got a huge. Everything just about him is huge, quite honestly. You know, he's got the very, very long wingspan. I think it's over 7 feet, if I'm not mistaken. A 7 foot wingspan. You know, he can get almost across the court, 94 feet in almost 2 steps pretty much anymore. But he's just an outrageously freakish athlete that can do almost anything on the basketball court. And it's phenomenal to see because the Bucks are the best team in the NBA right now. That's one reason why. You know, the Bucks are, last time I checked, they were 33-6. I would have to go back. I know they're probably 30 something, and I still have single digit losses, but I can't remember that off the top of my head right now. But I will say this though, that Giannis is improving, and it's scary. It honestly is scary because when we think about Giannis, it was funny because he made this comment about a month ago in the media. When they were on their 18-game win streak over however many, whatever it was at the time, their win streak, he said that was the amount of games that they won in this first year in the league, and now they have, you know, that big of a win streak. It was crazy to him to think of, you know, the magnitude of that and how big it's blown up for him in such a small amount of time. You know, he's been in the league a decent long time, but you know, about 5, 6, 7 years. But when we're looking at this specifically in the way of dominance, there's nobody like Giannis. A guy that has the freakishly long wingspan that is dominant on both sides of the ball. To me, you have to be dominant on both sides of the ball. You can't dominate one side like James Harden does. Or like Steph Curry does to a degree. He does play some defense, I'll give him that. You know, both of them do, but you know, Curry a little bit more than Harden. But you know, you have to dominate like LeBron has done it a little bit this year. Kawhi, Paul George, Kevin Durant, Giannis especially. Giannis has done it both ends of the floor this year, and I really, really love that. The first seeded Bucks have shown a huge commitment when it comes to offensive and defensive domination. And not only just him, but the team as well. They are doing fantastic on both ends of the floor. And Giannis is adding a 3-point shot, and you know, he's got a decent mid range. I'm not gonna say it's a great one by any means, but if we're talking what he's done over this past year, it's crazy to think that he has done what he has done. You know, it's been fantastic to see him now adding a 3-point shot to make everyone look, holy moly. You know, this guy's adding a 3-pointer after already how dominant he is, being able to get to the paint the way he does and score off the dribble. His mid-range is getting better. His 3-point shot is getting better. Free throws are, you know, still needing improvement a little bit, but they're still good. This guy is becoming almost an NBA cheat code. It's scary to think, but he's, excuse me, almost becoming an NBA cheat code to teams, or to the Bucks, because he's able to do almost everything on the basketball court. Now, isn't that crazy to think that there's a guy out there that can pretty much do everything well in the game of the NBA? And for everyone, all the LeBron guys out there, oh yeah, you're talking about LeBron James. No, I'm not, because LeBron does not have a consistent 3-point shot. Now, I will say this to LeBron people that, you know, about Giannis to, you know, LeBron. LeBron does have a better 3-point shot than Giannis, maybe by a bit, you know, maybe by a little bit. But I will say that Giannis's defense is a lot better than LeBron's defense, I would say. I would say that Giannis's defense is a lot better because he gives that effort 110%, whether it's offense, defense. He gives that effort 110% every single time he's out there on the court. Every possession, offensively, defensively, he's there. He's giving it his all, no matter what the case is. So I had to give it to Giannis to be most dominant. You know, when you dominate both ends of the floor, people remember your name. And obviously, he was the MVP last year. He's probably going to get it again this year because of his improvement. And that's crazy to think. You know, we don't normally. The last back-to-back MVP was, you know, Steph, 14, 15, 15, 16. You know, Giannis could do it 18, 19, 19, 20. And it's crazy to think that a guy has just blossomed into a star in Milwaukee, and he's one of my favorite players to watch as a human being. You know, one of my favorites to watch, and a phenomenal, dominant player in the NBA, and I can't wait to see what the season holds for him. But now we're gonna we're gonna talk about the Lakers specifically. Excuse me. Sorry, I was just taking a drink of water there. We're gonna talk about the Lakers. Their win over OKC. Obviously, they did not have Anthony Davis or LeBron James in that game. Obviously no DeMarcus Cousins for the year, assumingly, and the guys, they stepped up really good. Beat OKC 125-115 after leading by over 30 in some parts of the game. OKC came back and cut it to a 10-point deficit only. Now, a lot of people are going on Twitter and saying how big of how big of a deal this is for the Lakers team, and hey, we're 15 deep now, and the league better watch out because we're gonna come for everybody now after we beat OKC. We're leading by 30 at halftime, and we were doing all this and that. I'm thinking to myself, well, wait a second. This is just one game. You say this about like the Clippers or the Nets or the Celtics or the Bucks or the Heat or the Nuggets or whoever. Lakers fans would say the same thing that I'm about to say to them about their team that they would say about other teams. So I kind of hold your horses here, Laker fans, because my biggest thing with this and why everyone's blowing top proportion. Don't get me wrong; it was a great game. They played really, really well without their two big stars. Rondo had a flashback performance. Kuzma showed something, but it's only one game. I think a lot of people are forgetting that it's only one game. So you're really going to base a whole monster season. Like, I remember after that game, there were a lot of big basketball outlets on Twitter that were like, the next young rising star is Kyle Kuzma, or, Kuzma's going to be I hate the term young king because, I'm not a big fan of it per se. I don't know what it means. It's not that I don't like it. It's not because I don't know what it means, but it's just doesn't sound right. A young king, I just don't like that term. It's just not right. But they're saying that about Kuzma after only one game. Tatum put up 41 and Kuzma put up 36. Had 23 in the first half. And they're saying Kuzma's a bright young star. And this is nothing against Kyle Kuzma. By any means, this is nothing against Kuzma. But I will say that Kuzma has had an up and down season. And for everyone to start saying that he's going to be the next young star for the Lakers, I'm like, pump your brakes here, people. He's had such a he had such a rocky season. He had that stress fracture in his leg. He was out for a decent bit, and then he came back and he's had to find his way in the offense. Still doesn't look very comfortable playing alongside him. His name's in trade rumors again, so that's going to affect him. So he's had an up and down year. For people to say that he's going to be a rising star in the league, I don't know about that yet. I really don't. I really, really, really don't know about that yet, just because of how his season's went so far. If you're asking me about the Lakers team this year, what I think they should personally do, I think they should trade Kuzma. I know it's gonna make a lot of Lakers fans upset, but they need another scorer and another guy that can create a shot. Kuzma can't really create his own shot. He did that in the OKC game, but again, that's just one game. You need a guy that can do this over stretches of games and just be able to do different things with the ball and play make, facilitate, play defense, hit a mid-range shot and be able to do different things along with shooting. So Kuzma doesn't really do that. They need a guy that can do a little bit of everything. That's why I've always said like a Jrue Holiday. But the thing is, I think they're kind of stuck with Kuzma, because his contract is only $2 million or $1.26 million this year, and that's not what you're gonna get for Kyle Kuzma's value. So they're kind of stuck with him if they'd want to trade him. They'd have to put someone like Danny Green or even Rondo or someone like that with Kuzma's contract to get someone back that's pretty decent. So I don't know. I would say hold on to Kuzma unless the right deal comes around. But I don't think that he's what they need long term. I think they could probably deal him for something in the off season whenever some of that stuff doesn't really matter in terms of salary. So I would probably hold on to Kuzma this year and see if he can get something. Heck, I might be totally wrong and he can be a better player than what I think he's going to be this year. You know, I have been wrong on a lot of occasions before, and I'm perfectly fine with being wrong before, but there are more times than not that I've been right with a lot of NBA predictions. Like I said, the Lakers weren't going to make the playoffs last year, and they didn't, you know. So I could, I could be right, I could be wrong. If I'm wrong, I'll own up to it. I'll be a man about it, but I'm not going to give people their pleasure, if you will. And one more point I want to make about the Lakers win over OKC. If you want to be dominant, you would not have let OKC back in this game. And that is something that I think a lot of people don't understand. Is like, this Lakers team shouldn't have let OKC come back by 20. Basically, they let them come back 20 points. I know it's probably in garbage time or something, but still, if you want to be the team that you think you are and the team that everyone wants you to be, you can't let OKC come back regardless. Yeah, you can let them come back by 10 points, but have them come back by 20 and only make it a 10-digit win. That doesn't really look that good. And a lot of people are not going to subject that and ridicule that when, OKC played great. They really did. The first half they did not play very good, but the second half they played outstanding. That's, great for them and not good for the Lakers. But it goes both ways. A lot of people need to realize that things go both ways. And OKC played phenomenal. The Lakers did not. And if you want to be a dominant Lakers team, you can't let a team like OKC come back regardless. I know that they were really hot. I know they were really hot coming into this game. Won 9 of the last 10. Looking very, very confident going into this game. 7th in the West, 6th or 7th in the West. Chris Paul's done an outstanding job there in OKC. But the Lakers have to be dominant, and I know they didn't have their 2 stars, but again, a 30-point lead only turned into a 10-point win. To me, that's not what you need if you're a Lakers fan. Or if you want to be a dominant Lakers team, that's not what you need at all. You need to, but like some people say, you need to break their backs. Don't let up the pressure. Just make sure you keep piling it on, and don't let them come back regardless. It's fine if you let them come back by 10 points to make a 20-point win. I wouldn't be as harsh if it was, but since you let them come back by 20, then I'm going to be that harsh because, if you're a Lakers team like this, you want to be dominant. You want to make sure you can't let your foot off the gas any second of the game. So that's me. That's my little nutshell of it, if you will, about what I think about that. Let's move on to our third topic before our off-topic topic, and that is the player I would start a franchise with in the NBA. A lot of people say Anthony Davis, LeBron James, Kevin Durant even. Kevin Durant is my favorite athlete. I'll go on the record and say that. He's my favorite NBA player. Before everyone says bandwagoner for Golden State years, I will say I did not like the OKC. I did not like the Golden State Warrior move that KD did. It was a terrible move. I did not like it. So you can't call me a bandwagoner if I didn't like the move. I'm happy he got his rings. Do I like the way he got them? No, but I'm happy he got his rings. Okay, that's all that needs to be said. Okay, simple as that. That's a different discussion for a different day. So I would start a franchise with Giannis. To me, I was fighting about Giannis or Luka. Luka's been phenomenal this year. There's no question about it. Luka's been absolutely outstanding. Luka would be my second player to start a franchise with, but I'm going Giannis right now because Giannis has the offense and the defense pretty much all figured out. He's working on his game. He's working on everything that he can do. He's a phenomenal player. He's so dominant, too. Back to the first thing, he's so dominant. Luka is doing fantastic in the West. He's the Mavericks, I think, fifth in the West, 5th or 6th. I'm not quite sure. I'd have to look. But when you're talking about a guy in Giannis, you could start your team with that's only 25, 26, a guy that does the things that he does on a basketball court, those guys come around once in a generation. And this guy will be a Hall of Famer, and he will be one of the best players to probably touch a basketball in the NBA. I think he's going to be that good. So I would start a franchise with Giannis Antetokounmpo. You have stuff that you can work on with both guys. With Luka, it's going to be a lot of defensive work, but with Giannis, it's going to be a little bit of mix and match. Because Giannis is really, really good. He's got a lot of his game figured out. I'm thinking on the side of consistency with the shots and how he can improve his free throw, and maybe some help side and some knocking into fouls, because there have been a lot of games this year where he has gotten into foul trouble. I think he's like in the top 50 in fouls, which isn't bad, but at least he's it's not great either. I like to be down a little bit more just because he plays so hard. So how can you play that hard and not gather up the fouls? Russell Westbrook does a great job of that, but these guys are two different positions, and Giannis has to defend. He can defend 1 through 5. Westbrook can defend 1 through 2, possibly even 3. Who knows? So I would start my franchise with Giannis Antetokounmpo for those reasons only. But now we are going to move on to our off-topic topic, one of my favorites this so far this year. But before we get into it, I will say that I do not mean to come off derogatory or demeaning in any way in any of the statements that I may make. I do not mean to come off racist in any way that I may come off. If I do apologize in those ways. I am just giving my opinion on certain aspects of the world that we live in right now. So if you guys do have a problem with me, I will give out all my social media. If you guys want to chat or talk about what I said in this episode or whatever the case may be, my Facebook is at ARBO _ 2020 on Instagram. Again, ARBO 2020 or underscore 2020 on Instagram. I'll just repeat that one more time. Instagram at ARBO _ 2020. Now Facebook, well, I'm not going to give you my Facebook, I'm going to give you my Twitter. I'm on all three daily, Instagram the most. But if you want to talk to me on Twitter, it's at ARBOGAAR 2020. Again, it is Twitter at ARBOGAAR 2020. One last time, my Twitter handle is ARBOGAAR. So if you guys need to contact me there, want to spark up a conversation, you're more than welcome to listen to it there. So let's talk about political correctness and sensitivity. So we're going to start with the political correctness first, and then we'll move on to sensitivity because, I've been having a really big issue with sensitivity in this world lately, and political correctness, they kind of go hand in hand a little bit, so I want to talk about both in that regard. So political correctness in this world has become one of the bigger shouting matches in the world today. What I mean by that is it's becoming such a huge debate. It's become such a huge debacle. And it's become something that a lot of people are very frustrated in. Something that really frustrates me because I don't know what to call certain people in this world. Like I said, I don't mean to call them racist or derogatory or anything, but it's hard for me to distinguish what I can call an African American person. I don't know if I can call them African American or black or whatever they want me to call them. I am not racist in any way, shape, or form. If I was, I would not be friends with a mixed person like I am. I am friends with the mixed person. His name is Dakota. I'm very great friends with him. And my favorite athlete is African American. So if I was racist or derogatory against black African Americans, see what I mean? I would not like those two people. I don't understand a lot of this. Like, we have to be so careful in what we say in this world about certain people, and that's why I felt really weird. I feel weird talking about this topic, but I think it's something that needs to be talked about because when we talk about the grand scheme of things, it's just something that a lot of people get upset with because there's not a definitive answer for what you call certain people. We call the people from Ireland Irish, we call from the people from England English, we call, do we call Native Americans Indians or do we call them Native Americans? Do we call people from Mexico Mexicans or what do we call them? There's so many different names for people. We got to understand the political correctness for each ethnic and race. And to me, it just brings up such a big controversy in this world because We fight over the smallest things in this world, and it drives me absolutely insane. And it's where the sensitivity kicks in more importantly. But the political correctness, I'm not a big fan of politics. I'll come out and say that I hate politics with a burning passion. I talk about them a lot because of how much I hate them. I don't try and talk about them very much. If you want to know my thoughts, we might revisit it in a couple episodes from now. But I'm pretty sure that you can check that in the first ever episode of Ballers Paradise podcast. It says on the episode list which one we talk about with our politics, but political correctness is just getting out of hand, and I don't know what to do because I don't know what makes certain people happy about what they're called. Like I'm a white man. I don't get offended when someone calls me a cracker. I'm gonna be honest. I don't get offended when someone calls me a cracker. It might be different if an African American or someone else would call me that I don't know. Like I said, I don't get offended when people call me that. Okay, I don't get offended when people call me that. I will say that this political correctness thing is getting out of hand, and there needs to be a stop to it because I'm getting annoyed and I'm getting fed up with it because I just want a clear cut answer. I want to know what's going on. How to do it. What's going on. How to call someone this name. I just need to know because I'm getting sick and tired of guessing. Politics has ruined this generation, and it's ruined this world that we live in nowadays. And there's a lot less people happy, and it's just not right for our world. It's just that quite simple. And this is where we move into sensitivity, is people are so sensitive in what we say, it's just not right. I will say this, I do not talk to some people anymore because they get offended of the word retard, okay? Whenever I was growing up in high school, it was okay to say that word. It was definitely okay to say the word retard. It wasn't okay to say it, but I mean, like, it was okay if you were, like, joking about it. Now you can't even joke about it. Like, I can't call my friend, hey, you're or that, or hey, that's so, whatever. It's such a sensitive word. I can't go to my little brother. My little brother's a senior in high school. I can't even say that word around him because he gets so sensitive about that word. He gets so uptight and saying, no, you can't say that. You're making fun of weird people. You're making fun of people. I'm like, dude, I don't care. I'm not making fun of a mentally disabled person or a mentally handicapped person. I would never, ever do that. My buddies and I use that as a joke. We don't say that to intentionally make fun of somebody, And that's why I say we're all just too stinking sensitive nowadays. It's because, like, that word in particular and other words, we can't say anymore. Like, we can't joke around and have fun anymore with anybody because someone's going to get their feelings hurt, and then they're going to get all uptight and get angry, and then a fight's going to happen because that certain someone can't handle their emotions and take a joke. And that's what makes me mad, is that less and less people nowadays cannot take jokes, regardless of whatever you're joking about. And that bothers me because I'm a guy that likes to have a lot of fun. I'm a guy that likes to make people laugh, have fun. I'll pick on somebody, but do it jokingly. You can't even do that anymore. How are you going to be able to do that when you have people in this day and age that can't control their emotions and can't take a joke? It's so bad because I've had to cut people out of my life because they're getting so uptight. And I don't like that. I don't like that people are getting so uptight. Like, there are certain things that kids don't do in schooling anymore because some people are worried about, them getting sensitive about it and, getting so uptight. And, like, they're not even teaching cursive anymore because they're afraid kids can't read it. They won't be able to write it. Like, I cursive taught to me whenever I was in grade school. I know how to write it. I definitely do not have the best penmanship whatsoever, but I can say that it needs to be taught in grade school because how are you going to be able to sign things? You're not going to go to, your job, and then if you have to sign your contract or whatever, they're not going to accept print for your signature unless that changes. Then That's going to be an interesting day. That cursive is gotten rid of instead of print. But certain things are being taken out of parks because people are worried of getting into lawsuits. People are worried of getting in trouble because of the day and age we live in. It's sad. It is honestly the saddest thing in the world. And dude, there are kids. I remember whenever I was little, I think I was shopping with one of my parents. It was either my mom or my dad, probably both of them, and we were at a store. I can't remember the store's name, but there was a rainbow teddy bear that was really nice. Obviously, I didn't want it. I didn't want it, but if I did, and I still had it, in this day and age, I would have been presumed, people would have came up to me and asked me if I was gay having this teddy bear in my closet or down in the basement or wherever. There are certain things that are just so sensitive. Like, a lot of people don't sell things because of the connotation it gives off. You can't make jokes with people. You can't say certain things to them. It's like, why is the world not being fun anymore? Why is the world not being fun anymore into a place to where people like me are not having as much fun in this day and age? You can't have fun and joke around with people, then what's the point of even trying to be around anybody anymore? It's almost like you're just stuck in your room with nothing to do, time and time again, and you're locked in there until you pass away. That's basically what this world is coming into. You have to have fun and enjoy yourself. If someone's gonna get uptight about your jokes or whatever, forget them. Forget them. Go have fun your own way. I'm not saying to do anything illegal by any means, because please don't do that. Don't do that. I would never encourage that. But I would say that have fun your own way. Like, Mac and I have a lot of fun. We go to Dave and Buster's. We go out to eat. Every once in a while, we'll go bowling. We'll go to arcades. Dave and Buster's is not being sponsored for this episode. Now, if we ever get any sponsors, that'd be awesome. But we don't have any right now. But we go out and have our own fun, and when we're in the car talking with each other, we'll just crack jokes, talk a lot of basketball, have a great time. We'll do our thing. We'll do our thing, and we don't care. There's a guy that Mac and I know. I'm not gonna mention any names or anything. He got really uptight over a certain situation, and now he hates me because of it, because he couldn't act his age. I'm not gonna say who he is or his name or his age or anything, but he couldn't act his age. To me, that is awful that you can't act your age over a little Instagram post. Quite frankly, I just took a jab at him, and he got so uptight that now he just hates my guts because I used Mac's Instagram account to take a jab at him, and now he's all crybaby, and every time he sees me, he has to try and shame me and try and make me look bad when he knows nothing about me, doesn't know what I've been through in my life, and he just continuously just tries to put me down for no reason. A lot of people are starting to do that nowadays because they're hearing certain things from other people, and people that do know me, I will say this: I am not a big fan of the Cleveland fan base. I live in Ohio. I will say that I do live in Ohio. I'm not a big fan of Cleveland sports fan bases. And I will say for this reason, because they are not very educated, okay? I'm not saying that in a mean way. I'm just saying that because they do not have a conversation on bias. They are very educated people. They are educated people. I will say that. But they do not know how to approach a sports conversation unbiased. And that bothers me because there are a lot of friends and people I have. I've had to stop talking to some people because they won't be unbiased. And they're saying, whenever I bring the facts and the explanations to an argument, they just completely ignore it and say, no, you're wrong. And I bring up the facts, they're like, oh, those are just facts, even though they're from like ESPN and NFL or NBA.com or whatever. They're the legit facts, and they're just like, oh, those are real. Okay, so where do you get your facts from? I bring the facts to an argument. I give you what I think, and I back it up with facts. Cleveland sports fans really do not. They just go off of pure emotion, and they won't consider a different side. It's as simple as that. And they always call my argument the stupidest thing ever. And that's why I don't like arguing with them, because they're so sensitive. They just are. I understand not winning for a long time and not having successful franchises. I get that, because I've lived in Ohio for 22 years of my life, and it's not been a great sports time except for 2016. Even then, I don't think the Cavs should have won that, but that's a totally different story. The only thing I could say is that I don't have a big argument with Cleveland fans unless they actually give me a good unbiased sports argument. Other than that, I'm not going to argue with them. I'm just not going to. It's just how it is, because they're so sensitive. That's just how the world is, and I'm getting tired of the sensitivity. I think right now, if I had to give advice to this generation, to future generations, don't be as sensitive as the world around us now. Have fun with your lives, but if people are going to be so sensitive, kick them out and bring in new people that are like you. Because what's the point of having a sensitive person if you're not going to have fun? That's my honest thing. If you're not going to have fun with someone, why have a sensitive person be stuck in your life? Go out, have fun, enjoy yourself with your friends and family, enjoy your life. Don't focus around politics. I'll say that too. Don't focus around politics. That's just going to make everything worse. Trust me, I know. I will get into that conversation one day. Yeah, thank you guys for listening to this episode. That's where it's going to end here. Future episodes, I think Mac and I are going to start interviewing each other. I think we're going to bring some interview episodes to each other soon. For sure. I know that one thing for sure is that the interview episodes, we're going to try and bring interviewers on the show as well. I'll try and get some interviewers in here and have fun with them as well. But yeah, guys, have a great day. Have a fantastic day. School's beginning for me. It's a great time. I feel a lot better. I just feel better emotionally and physically after what has happened in my life, with my dad passing, and after break. I had a great Christmas break as well. But for the most part, guys, have a fun and safe day, and be kind to one another. All right, YouTube. I hope you guys enjoyed the show today, my first ever YouTube show. I'm very excited to put this on air for you guys. Again, anything that you hear in that here in the podcast episode, I do not mean racist or derogatory by any means. I'm not a racist person. I am a very big fan of Kevin Durant. I have Dakota, who's a mixed friend. I'm not racist in any way, shape, or term. I just do not like black people, or African Americans, whatever you call them. I'm not a racist person, simple as that. So, hope you guys have a fantastic day today, and thank you for watching the 7th episode of Ballers Paradise Podcast. I'm going to get this uploaded. I'm going to get the video uploaded so you guys can watch this thing, and have a great and fantastic day, everybody.